It's 90 degrees here today in Seattle, and I'm out doing exactly what you shouldn't be doing, which is riding an electric unicycle. But I'm doing this because Inmotion made the very bold claim that the motor on this Inmotion V14 operates 35% cooler than other similar motors. So of course, knowing me, that means we gotta go test it. I'm gonna go ride my wheel to the steepest off-road hill that I know of. We're gonna go up it as fast as I can, and we're gonna go see what the motor temperature is, what the battery cell temperatures are, and what the MOSFET temperatures are. See how close this thing gets to dangerous peaking levels. This unicycle has the Samsung 50S cells in it from eWheels, which means it does have the black top shell, which will make it a little bit hotter, I think. But more importantly, we gotta ride 7 miles first to get there. So we're gonna go for a little bit of a cruise, and then we're gonna ride up this hill. There's no cars, why am I waiting here? It's gonna be a very toasty ride. Please subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. Always testing out the latest electrically wheeled gadgets. Manufacturers make a lot of bold claims, but no one really tests them, so here I am. This Inmotion V14 does have adjustable suspension. We got preload, compression, and rebound adjustments, so there's a start. The spring is very stiff though, so don't expect a nice plush ride. I was pretty surprised coming from my Sherman S to this thing. It doesn't feel like that heavenly smoothness you're used to. This is very much an off-road and jumping wheel. We'll get to the jumping bits later, but it's gonna be hot all summer, so I wanna kinda see how hot it gets when I do really push the thing. Thankfully, Inmotion realized that we wouldn't all want a piece of garbage, so they put a smart BMS in the V14, so now we can check the temperatures of the battery and the MOSFET and the cells. The motor has also been upgraded to 6mm wires, so, you know, thicker diameter, less heat. In theory, I personally think that's how they're advertising the 35% cooler motor temperature, just because they increased the size of the wires. Makes sense, right? Less impedance. The controller has 135 amps of output power at 134 volts. The motor peaks at 9,000 watts on paper. Apparently Inmotion tested it peaking at 12,000 watts, so you know, we'll see what happens. Also, we have an app called EUC World, which can tell me the temperature. It's kind of nice though, there's no one on the trail today because it's so hot. We got a heat advisory, so all the Lance Armstrong mini wannabe cyclists are staying inside. While we ride to our hill location, I want to tell you a couple things that eWheels told me that I should tell you because they learned about them outside of the Inmotion marketing. First of all, there's 4 battery packs on the Inmotion V14 and they all run at 128 volts. So in theory, you could disconnect 3 of them and it would just run off the 1 pack. It's a great thing to have all those packs in parallel in case, you know, crap hits the fan, you only have 1 working pack, the wheel's not gonna cut out on you. The second thing is that the suspension geometry is correct. Apparently it was properly calculated. You're not gonna have any issues with the suspension or needing new geometry fixins. Nothing worse than spending a few $100 on a wheel you just bought for 3,000 bucks. And the third thing is the batteries have a sleep mode, which means unlike many things on 4th of July, it's really hard for them to catch on fire, like things by themselves. If people overheat their wheels or overcharge them, and the wheel's just sitting there overnight, or you disconnect a pack, they're not just gonna spontaneously combust. Always good, right? All right, I've got like 5 miles to go. I'm gonna speed things up a bit, turn off the camera, and then I'll get back to annoying you. All right, well, I made it to my Little League game. Temperature on the battery and the discharge MOSFETs is 91 degrees, which is about 2 degrees higher than ambient temperature. And according to EUC World, the temperature of the wheel is 106. So we're gonna see what happens when I take the V14, sitting over here, up this geological monstrosity of a hill. Place your bets now in the comments. Do you think it's gonna get over 150? I'm really curious. This thing has got all the torque. It's got all the latest and greatest advancements. It should be able to get my fat ass up the hill, right? All right, here's our hill in front of us. Temperature according to EUC World was 106 still. Battery temperature in the Inmotion app ranged from 91 degrees to 97 degrees per cell group. This hill is massive. Don't let the wide view on the GoPro deceive you. This is a very steep hill. The wheel does have 2 modes. It's got like a comfort mode and a sport mode, and obviously we're in sport mode. I imagine it delivers more amps, gives us more torque, but I'm just gonna be leaning my fat ass up into the pads and see how fast we can go up this hill, what our temperature gets to. I've been riding pretty casual up till now, but we're not gonna be doing that anymore. We're gonna go to battery information, and it's gonna tell us that our temperature right now is 93 degrees for the MOSFET temps, 91 to 97 for the battery cell groups, okay? There's our voltages right there, not bad. Pretty cool little BMS we got. Let's go up the hill and see what it changes to. All right, here it goes. Up the hill, come on. My biggest worry going up this hill is leaning into the pads so hard that the tire peels out. And then I just kind of fall on my hands and the GoPro and my livelihood. Going as fast as I can, leaning into these freaking pads. The stock pads are not bad, FYI. Yeah, pushing it. Oh, get off that loose gravel. Come on, baby. I got 24 miles an hour going up this hill. Not bad at all. Wow, surprising actually. I remember when I rode my Sherman S up that hill, I was balancing, doing a very dainty little ballerina balance between overpowering the wheel and pushing it as hard as I could, because I could feel it was right on the edge. This is not the Sherman S. This thing has all the torque. Let's stop and check the specs. All right, here's what we're looking at in the Inmotion app. It looks like 95 degrees for the discharge MOSFET temps. 99 degrees. We literally only went up a couple degrees up that huge hill, and it's 90 degrees outside. I don't know how this thing stays so cool. What does EUC World say? Going back into EUC World, temps at 122 or 120 degrees in EUC World, which is nothing. So this thing does run significantly cooler than previous generations of wheels. I kind of wanted to make this video and call them out and say BS. That's BS. No one believes you in motion marketing, but you know, here we are. I got the proof. Proof is in the pudding. I'm gonna try and go up this next little section of hill and we'll see if it increases at all from 120. So we're currently connected to the app. Begin the next section of the hill. Just absolutely pushing it. I don't know, how is this thing not getting hot? Why is it not getting hot? Is it the new type of aluminum that they used on the motor housing? Is it the bigger wires for the motor? Increased MOSFET capacity? What do you guys think? I'm sure there are people in the comments that are much more technologically savvy with this type of thing, but I'm just calls it as it sees it. All right, going up the next section of the hill. This is the third and final section. Why aren't you getting hotter? 120, really, the top? No friggin' way. Oh wait, there's a fourth section. But we have to go downhill first. I'll just go fast on the downhill. Top speed on this wheel is 43 miles an hour. I did hit 43.5 on accident once. See if I can maintain speed up the next section of this hill. No, we're slowing down, come on. Leaning into the pads. The temp's still at 120. Okay, you know what? Inmotion nailed it, I guess, with the temperature aspect of this thing. Wow. Okay, what does it say in the Inmotion app? 97 degrees discharge MOSFET temperature. We got up to 100 on the cell temperature. Not even close to overheating. Not even a modicum of overheating going on this wheel. This might be the coolest running wheel on the market yet. I don't know. Higher voltage, you got thicker phase wires. This thing is a cool beast. Definitely for hardcore shredding and off-roading. Man, I'm 240 pounds. I kind of wanted the thing to overheat so I'd have some sort of controversial video, but here, no, we don't have that. We don't get anything cool on this channel. It's just boring as shit all the time. All right, we're gonna do another climb. Right now, I'm just sitting in the sun. This thing's cooking. We're gonna swipe over to the right on EUC World and check out these more advanced specs. This looks like it's got temperature, battery temperature, mainboard temperature, and motor temperature. So this temperature is 108, and that corresponds with temperature, but I don't know what that's reading off of. So motor temperature and mainboard temperature are what I'm gonna be looking at. God, this thing is steep. I'm on super view on the GoPro, so it's not gonna do it justice. All right. Send it as hard as I can now. I always go up this thing and I think, I could have done that faster, but this is really hard. So we're gonna do the second uphill. There's not as much loose gravel. I think I can get going faster on this thing. If you're out of shape and you need a fun workout, that's enough reason alone to grab the V14. All right, really gonna send it up this one if I can. I'm not taking a dump, I promise. It looks like 142 degrees on the main board, 145 for the motor. My Sherman was at 180. Sherman overheated on this bad boy. Sherman S, that is. IMU temperature at 136, so still running like 35 degrees cooler than the Sherman. The conservative threshold is like 150. 160 is getting close, and 180 is like red line. You should get off your wheel. It's probably gonna turn off. There's one more uphill section I'm gonna try and do. All right, sending it. Straight uphill, come on, baby. Can I get 30 miles an hour? Can we get 30? 29? 31, nice. Just gonna keep sending up the steeper portion. At 35 miles per hour, can we get up this thing at 35? That'd be crazy. No, still at 30 though, we're cooking. Hopefully not literally. Whew. All right, let's check those temps again. Motor temp still at 147, 149, going up a little bit. 142 on the main board, 138 IMU. Yeah, it's not overheating. You can really smash on this thing. It's 90 degrees out too, I'm sure I mentioned that, but actually 92. So that was the second run. I wanted to come back. This is the second day of riding actually, but I wanted to come back and do that with the more detailed specs on there because the temperature, whatever that's reading, right now it's at 120. I'm not sure what that's actually reading a temp from. Man, our battery temperature is still only 99. Those cells are barely getting pushed at all. The Samsung 50S cells, legit. Well, helmet's off to you, Inmotion. You nailed it. You got the temperatures down. I don't know how anyone's gonna overheat this thing unless you're riding around and it's like already 130 degrees, Death Valley uphill. If you wanna pre-order one of these things and pick them up, they're available at ewheels.com. The black top on the wheel indicates the Samsung 50S version. The cells are in there, really nice. If you got the orange top, I think that's the Samsung 50Es, lower discharge rate. I honestly can't believe it was that cool. You could ride this thing around in the hot summer sun doing jumps. Not gonna overheat it. Don't worry about that. Don't even look. All right, thanks for watching. Click the links in the description. You can help support the channel. But that's all I got for you today. So you can end the video now. No, seriously, like close out the video, it's done. What do you want from me? Why are you still here? I rode the wheel up the hill, we're good. You can close the video now. Go click the links and subscribe. If you're still here for some weird reason, subscribe to the channel.